Buenas everyone, Mayra here, and today we're gonna be discussing the college essay. Yes, this is the life force of so many student applications because this is the one place in the application where students are able to share their personal lived experiences to demonstrate personal passions, motivations, and general growth. Let's talk about it. Contigo Ed has robust resources, tools, and activities that educators can integrate seamlessly into their classrooms around specific college application components on their aspiration to action platform. In the college application summary, educators can expect 2 different sections that walk students through an activity to help them delve deeper in their personal experiences and also self-reflection. Section 1. Standout attributes of the college essay. There, educators will be introducing 6 different categories that are broad enough to help students feel involved and included in this narrative, but also diverse enough for them to figure out which one they connect with most. Categories include being unique, persistent, a problem solver, a learner, being inquisitive, and also being an influencer. All of our students have these qualities, even if they connect with one over another. Section 2 connects these broad ideas into college application essay prompts. Students are then tasked with selecting one attribute that they really connect with, and they'll proceed with reflective questions around that. I love this activity because it helps students generate ideas and think about critical memories that they may not have thought about in a long time. But some of us may be at schools where students aren't as open about sharing their stories or may not be able to jump right to the reflection activity. So how do we scaffold the learnings to make sure that the end goal is still met and it is still a fruitful experience for all of our students? I have 2 things that I want to share with you all. One, I want to introduce a warm-up activity that could be great for your students to engage with these big nebulous questions sooner as a group before they go into individualized work time. 2, I want to also clarify and myth bust some of the things that folks say about topics that are off limits, and within a changing landscape, correcting the narrative about whether students can talk about their diverse identities and background. I like to start with a game called True or False. Begin with taking a piece of painter's tape and putting a line directly in the middle of your classroom. Designate one side to be true and one side to be false. You will name different statements, and students will either agree with the statement or disagree with the statement. After each prompt, students will move to the side that most aligns with their perspective. In terms of pre-work, educators should prepare to look at all 6 attributes. Within them, come up with 2 to 3 statements that align with each category. From there, mix them up, share them at random so that students are unaware of why we're doing this activity until the grand reveal. Both of these are effective because it allows students to see how they feel about those comments, and they're broad enough where they can create conversation with their friends between statements. What I've noticed is that after this activity, students are really eager to engage in reflection because they've likely not shared enough in their dyads or in their pairs, and they want to reflect on a lot of those topics a little bit longer. They get to do that during independent time. Now, to the bigger discussions around, are there topics that are off limits? In particular, can we talk about identity and our backgrounds? Short answer is yes. Long answer is it's complicated. This past year, the Supreme Court struck down affirmative action that changed the landscape for admissions forever. The reality is that for some of our students, these 6 attributes are grounded in stories connected to their racial or ethnic backgrounds, and that is okay. In fact, colleges have shared that students are welcomed and invited to speak about all of their diverse identities, including race and ethnicity, if it pertains to a critical attribute, a value of theirs, or a really important part of their growth journey. All that to say, include it if it is substantive and connected to the work that the student is speaking to. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. As educators, we connect with students, and I'm sure we've heard this idea, I have to talk about something really bad that happened to me, and even some students will allude to feeling pressure to talk about something traumatic. That is not the purpose of the college essay. I differentiate these by 2 things. I ask my students, is this a scar or is it a wound? Is this something that empowers you to talk about? Is it something that is super important to talk about and something that you've healed from and made progress on? Or is it a wound? Is this something that is hurtful, harmful, and unkind to you to explore in this moment? Essentially, Is it something that happened that didn't feel so good but has healed and taught us things? Or is it a wound that is actively bleeding? One is a topic that we can talk about, the scar. The wound may be one we avoid. I like asking this question because it puts the student first and it centers this process around the student. They are the drivers of their college experience. And at the end of the day, they need to feel comfortable and confident with what they share with strangers that they may never meet in the admissions office when it comes to their own personal stories. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you all have a great one. See you next time.